I'll keep it 15 minutes, and please try to ask as many questions because that will increase the interactivity and increase our own knowledge. It's a little too short. I'll just keep. Wait. Okay. Just a second. Let me set. This fan is blowing the pages off, so this can be just. I don't want to start talking on how to get fit on holidays midway, when my page is flipping. Awesome. Are we ready? Okay. So guys, we are talking about overcoming the grip of bad habits today. So, these Friday talks give me the opportunity to think about subjects very deeply, and I'm very happy I get to do them. I don't know how happy you guys are to listen to me, but that's not your choice, I guess. So, coming to overcoming the grip of bad habits. The first thing we want to analyze whenever we are talking about a topic is what we are tackling, right? What are habits? So I got on thinking, and I like to make my own definitions of things because with my own perception and my own understanding. For me, habits are simply compulsive behavior patterns of a subconscious mind. That's it. Compulsive behavior patterns of a subconscious mind. Something we are not fully in control of. It's not automated. It is automated, and it's a habit pattern which we do without much control. So that is what habits are. Compulsive behavior patterns of a subconscious mind. So now we're thinking, that how does the conscious mind engage with the subconscious mind? Is we train the subconscious through the conscious. That's how we train new habits. But we can come to that a bit later. So now habits can be either for a generative or degenerative state. So bad habits cause degeneration, and and the good habits help us evolve further. So now where do they come from? Where do habits come from? Why do we develop them? What is it with them? So I think everything starts with a feeling. That's the center. That's the center of anything. We start with a feeling, generates into a thought, generates into an action. Repeated actions become habits, which the subconscious becomes a part of the subconscious, and that becomes a destiny kind of. Our habits lead to our destiny. Now a lot of people ask, is it our destiny, or do we have free will to do certain things? It's a bit of both. It's a bit of both. Personally, in my understanding, a lot of it is destiny. Where does destiny come from? Is your prenatal genes, or samskaras as they call in Buddhism or other religious scriptures. Those are your past life tendencies, which have got in here. You call them genes in the medical field. So that's a lot to do with it. And then is your postnatal, which is your environment, and your senses, which dictate your forming new habits. So they come from both, mainly because the gene pool or whatever it is much larger, so they tend to have a bigger impact on us. But we can train if the free will, our postnatal free will and our environment, we create it in such a way we can align it with our destiny. It does not have to be two separate things. They can be aligned for one thing. Now, I ask these questions, why is it so hard? Why is it so hard, habits, why are they so hard to overcome? Well, the first reason is that we've done them repeatedly and they've got deep into our subconscious. So it's very strong. Their grip is very strong. Why is it strong? What happens is, so let's say we have a bad habit. We have a bad habit of we are lazy. That's a bad habit. What happens when we are lazy? We know we are lazy. What happens is guilt. That's the first step. Even we try to ignore it, we feel guilty about it. Guilt leads to something called self-pity, where we are feeling bad about ourselves, we are self-critical, all of these things. And then it goes to sadness, where we are not so happy, basically. What happens after this? When we are sad, what do we want to do? Be lazy, right? Or so do whatever makes us feel comfortable, right? So it becomes a very vicious cycle. It becomes a very vicious cycle of guilt, self-pity, and sadness. How do we break free from it? This is the critical juncture. If we get into this, it's very hard to break. So we have to break it right at the root. We can take an alternate route, which is awareness. So we become aware of a bad habit. We objectively analyze it. Rather than getting caught in it, we objectively see, okay, this is what it is, and this is what I want to do. So we set a goal after the awareness, a goal. After the goal, we make effort. What happens when we make an effort? We change. So the bad habit is far gone. We are far removed from our awareness, goal, effort, change. That's how we break free. There are few other things we want to do, and we want to know about bad habits or any habits. You know, what are good and bad habits? They all cause slavery, even the good ones. So we don't want to be slaves to anything. That's one thing. And the other thing is, any bad habit is causing us unfulfilled potential of ourselves. That's why we want to make the change. Like, you know, we should know why we are breaking free. I love to eat ice cream, and I love to eat strawberry cakes. I don't mean strawberry cakes, but you can get what I mean by saying strawberry cakes. So that's the two reasons. We don't want to be a slave to them. We want to have our freedom. We don't want to live an unfulfilled life. And those cause us that. So a few things we can do to change them, you know, get into this area rather than being in this area right here. One is patience and perseverance. You know, you get aware of an habit, awareness is not the whole game. That I'm aware that I eat badly, why is it not changing? I'm aware that I do gossip, why is it not changing immediately? It does not happen overnight. Okay, a lot of the scriptures say that it takes 40 days to build a new habit. No one mentioned how long it takes to take out a bad habit. It can take up to years. I hope it doesn't. If your effort is strong enough, the change will happen much quickly. So have the patience and perseverance to continue with that. It's a very important quality to make change. Environmental change, of course, is going to help. You know, if you are if you're in an office where everyone eats out, naturally you're going to start eating out. You're in a kitty party situation where there's lots of gossip going on, and you don't want to gossip. If you keep going back to the kitty party, what the hell are you going to do there? You're going to gossip. So you have to see which environmental changes you've got to make to change that habit pattern. One more thing is, you know, rather than focusing on the bad habit, let's say I have a bad habit of waking up late, and I keep on saying, oh, I don't want to wake up late. I don't want to wake up late. Rather than start reinforcing a more positive mindset, change it to a positive, okay, I'm going to start waking up early. So changing that simple sentence makes a huge difference. Oh, I'm lazy, or I'm saying you're lazy, you're lazy. Rather than that, saying, oh, you should be more active, you should be on time, or something like that, rather than focusing on the bad habit, we give it too much emphasis. It's our natural default to go into a negative situation. So spin the situation, or you're late. Let's be on time next time. So as a coach, I try to do that. Rather than saying you're late, I say let's be on time next time. So spinning a positive makes a huge difference. If we give the bad habit importance, it's going to get stronger and stronger. So we have to change it and not give it too much importance. One thing that happens is, why do bad habits happen in the first place? It's idle time. A lot of it is idle time. When we use productive use of time, we don't have much time to dwell on bad habits. Most of them fall by our side. When we are busy, we don't have time to watch television, right? It's the old saying is true that idle mind is the devil's workshop. So try to fill your day with productive, positive stuff, and automatically you won't have time for the bad habits. So don't give them time to dwell. Time is the essence for them. So these are the few things I'll just repeat them. So have the patience and perseverance. Change your surroundings if needed. Don't give the bad habit undue importance. Make sure you fill it out spin it with a positive twist, and use your time productively in doing the good habits, so you don't have time for dwelling on the bad habits. So lastly, I'll finish with a quote from Aristotle. I was actually given this by someone when I was in the ashram and struggling with my bad habits. So it said, we are what we do repeatedly. Excellence then is not an act, but rather an habit. So our subconscious, coming back to that, can be trained by the conscious mind to form those habits which will lead to fulfillment. So that's what we have to do. Consciously be aware of that, keep feeding the good stuff, making the effort, and then the change. That's the road to getting off bad habits. So as we'll do an activity, so we'll do one bad habit, which let's put a positive spin to it and try and see which bad habit or good habit we want to develop in the next few months or the next few weeks. So I'll start. I'll do. Yes, please. Let's take. Yes. Yes, we can go into that discussion, but it will take a very long time. So any habit we don't want to have slavery. Even the good habits are slave. Do them, but be not a slave of them. Do what is required, you ought to do, but do not get in habits, do not get into a habit of doing even the good. If that good habit, let's say I have a good habit of eating healthy food. Someone offers me a cake, I shouldn't be a slave to my good habit also. I don't know if that makes sense, but there should be flexibility. What I'm trying to say is there should be flexibility. We should not get into the habit of being slaves. But there is a more deeper level discussion on this, which I don't think is part of this topic. Yes, but we can answer that later. Yes. Cool. Any other questions? Soumya? Param ma'am? Anything else? Okay. Cool. So I think we can cut the video here.